Come on, you know you want to watch. Let's get started. Okay, Bloomerinos, we're going to start off with a wreath base, and then we're going to add some gorgeous greenery to kind of shape out our design. So I'm using something a little different today. This is a ginkgo leaf. I love the way this looks. It is a really neat greenery to use, especially for spring, because it kind of looks like cabbage leaves, and it gives this really gorgeous, like neat green texture, and they're just really cool. So we're going to put this in first to kind of shape out our base. We're going to cut down our bush. We're going to need some wire cutters and trim them right off your bush, just like this. So I'm going to get started here by putting these in, and I'm going to start kind of and decide what shape do I want my piece to be. And for me, I just like to work on the left side, so I'm going to do that right now. So every time I put in a piece, I also have to come in and add a little Spanish moss to cover up my glue. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to make a little Spanish moss ball and put it in there right on my glue. I'm just going to kind of start to separate it and put these pieces in. It kind of fans out really fun like this, and we can start to put these pieces in right here. I'm going to go this way. I am really excited about working with this color palette with all the purples. If you've never designed or worked with purples, you're going to be shocked. There's a lot of people who love purple, the color. So they want it for their home. They want it for their accents and their seasonal pieces. And you can go anywhere from the deep purples to the lavenders. It doesn't have to be trending. It can just be that some of your customers will like that. And when you're going into the spring or early summer, I think purple's a lot of fun. So I'm going to kind of come down here, keep adding a little bit more. And you want to shape out each of your stems when you're using it. See how these are just so pretty, organically pretty? I'm going to keep bringing them in. How about to right here? I'm going to go to right here. And then I'm going to kind of change direction in a second, so we can go the other way. Let me put this one in. So we got this nice little flow going up and around. And one of the things you'll have to learn as you start to design more is you have to kind of draw people's eyes in different directions. And how are you going to do that? So that's one thing I like to teach in design. So let's bring one more in. I think we'll go right here. Okay. Really, really pretty. So we got a great base of the ginkgo in. I like that. It's looking good. I'm gonna put my Spanish moss in there. Let's put one more maybe up here for a little height. And we're gonna have some left. So that's good because you're gonna wanna have some greenery left from your two bushes so you can come in and add it to different locations as you start to put your design together. All right, come on in, buddy. Let's put a little bit more moss in here. So I use the moss to hold the glue, but also to hold space in the wreath sometimes, because that kind of secures your pieces really nice. And it's a technique I've used for years, and I love it. Now, you're gonna grab your next stem, and it has berries. It has like a little of like a hydrangea cluster, and then a really nice fern. This is such an easy stem to work with. These are great. I'm gonna take and separate it out, and we're gonna cut it into 3 different pieces. So I have 2 of these, and I'm going to cut them to 3 sections. Cut it down, baby, down. I'm doing about, I usually like to cut them to about 3-inch stems. So you see how here I'm separating it? Just cut it, and you get that nice little cluster on its own. Don't be ever afraid to cut up these stems into different pieces, because you can make them go so far. And definitely shake hands with this. If you don't know what shake hands means, that is a term I use in design school. What it means is we're going to take and we're going to use all these great wires. You know, I only work with nice quality florals that really hold up well for my customers. And so I really like to shape it all up. You want to use the wires that are in there. Okay? Now, these berries and these little hydrangea clusters on here, they're going to work like our main flower in this. It's going to be different. It's going to have this real natural look. So I need to have good distribution of these over the whole design. So I've got to think about them when I start to put them in. Now, notice how fun this is. Like, this reminds me kind of like a wisteria, how it comes and trails over. So these kind of pieces are great to use on the edges right here, where it can trail over and out. So I'm going to go right into my glue over here, and then I'm going to bring it in over here to the side. If you don't know what a glue skillet is, I'll be happy to share our video with you about that, so you can learn all about a glue skillet and have your own. But that's what you see me dipping them into, kind of off camera, right over here. Okay. Now I got another little hangy one. Man, I love these hangy ones. I love anything that hangs or trails or is curvy. If you didn't know that, now you do. Okay, so I'm going to use this one kind of opposite down here. Now our flow goes up and over, so I need that hang to match that up and over look. So I can't just stick it in down there. I've got to have it kind of come in here to go up and over, or up here. And I'm going to go, I think, right here. Oh, I love this. I love this. Putting my glue on, I'm going right in this section right here. And make sure you're coming behind and you're double checking that you have plenty of moss in there. Now see how quickly it's coming together? When you work with good quality materials, things build up faster. There's a lot less labor involved. Now I'm working with the pretty berries. Look at this. I'm shaping it up. I want to get some little bit of shape going on. And we're going to put one of these right here, kind of going up into this area. I gave it a swirl in my glue. And now I'm coming right in here. I'm going to fluff out. Oh, you see those ginkgo leaves going to work on this? This is pretty. Pretty. I'm loving it. Okay, now let's come down and up in the next section. So I'm going to use this one right here. And we're going to do the same thing. Shake hands. My big pet peeve is leaves being backwards. So I'll work hard to try to keep them from being backwards. I'll flip them around. I hate it when they're backwards. Ugh. All right, and I'm going to come right down here. So we got a great distribution so far. Good spacing on here. We're doing excellent. I like the look we're creating. Make sure you come back over that glue with Spanish moss. I'm going to tuck it in there, and I'm going to hide the glue, but then I'm also going to use it to get in there and hold it in place. That looks really good. And these are such great wired stems. You can pull them out, and you want to do that because you want to create depth, because that means you're going to be able to sell your wreaths for more if you're a seller, or if you are making them for yourself, your wreath's going to be unlike anybody else has in the block. And when you create all this depth, it's going to make your little heart so happy every time you walk past it. That's what I like. All right, we have these smaller ones. So I'm going to take this one, and it's going to tuck right here, right to the side of that ginkgo. And I'm going to try to be neat and clean when I put this one in, because I kind of have a termination point for my florals over here, and I don't want it to be too messy. So I'm going to try to tuck it in, make it kind of pretty, just like that. And what I'm going to do is take this little piece, we're going to cut that off, and we're going to use it to hide the glue so it's a little prettier right here. So I'm going to just trim it off. We're going to put a little glue on the back, and we're going to go just right on that place. I'll put a little glue right there, and we're going to just let this lay right on top. Watch your glue strings if they're getting you. Got a pretty good one there. All right, and so that has a nice starting point to flow from. We can always add more greenery, and we'll work on a little detail there, but I want to make sure I had a bigger piece to hide the mechanics of the glue there. And then we're going to use this last piece right in here. So I've got a good flow of purple, and I've got my white, and I've got my good berries working all the way up. I could even divide this into two if I wanted, and I could put a little more of the one of them up there, split it, and have a little bit here and a little bit there. I think I'll do that. Oh, this is such a fun one. If you're a purple lover, let me know in the comments, because usually I'm always so amazed. My design school students will be like, I love purple. We have a lot of people who love it, and they're ready to work with it every time we do. All right, let's come up here. We'll go in this section. And we're going to put that berry. And I just kind of went between those two little places. Looks good. Now, before we get to the twiggy part, we're going to put the grasses in. I want you to step back and look for holes right now. And so that means you're going to look out on the shape of your design. And then wherever we have like a little hole, like here, we need a little bit more greenery in here. That's where we're going to bring some more greenery in. And we're going to start to kind of check the inside and check the outside. You're going to want to do both. Just check that line. So when you're checking the line, you're stepping back from your work and your design, and you are looking at the perimeter and the inside. If the inside of your wreath is open, you want to make sure you are giving it a good line. A really good line. I'm going to bend that one up. There we go. Oh, perfect. Let's put a little bit on the outside here. And I'm taking a little bit of care on the perimeter right here, because this is where our wreath starts and it goes around. I don't have direction changes in this design, so it's a little bit different. It's fun. It's fun to do these. I'm going to tuck this one up and underneath. Oh, you want to make sure it's going into the grapevine, not just going through the back. Perfect. See how pretty it looks down there now? It looks good. Yeah, that looks great. Come on in here, buddy. All right, now let's go up into here and add a little bit more in there. So this process will continue on until you are happy with what you are seeing. Let's go right in there. Oh man, and then we're gonna make it wispy. We're gonna make it wispy next. I'll get so excited. All right, let's come to the top. Let's go to the top, and I'm gonna trail over with these. Come bring these over. I'm gonna bring this one in right here. Oh yeah. And then let's do one just a little bit higher above. And I'm gonna have one piece left from my ginkgo bush, and I think I'm gonna hold on to it just to make sure I don't need to fill in anywhere else, you know, at the last minute, in case there's some little area I need it. This right here is a gorgeous wreath, guys, which is 2 supplies from Khalees.com, and we haven't even got to the next level, so we got more to go. But I love it already. Now we're to the grass part. So we're gonna put the grass or the twig, or sometimes the filler flower. In this case, this is gonna work like a double doozy. So in design school, we talk about filler flowers and grasses and why we're using them. And here we're using this as 2 for 1. So you're gonna take this, and it's easy to work with because all you gotta do is just take and cut these down into sections. If you tear them, then that just goes a little faster, a little bit easier on your hands. And you can save this wire for other projects you have going. Once you do that, you do have to kind of trim up the ends. All right, just make them neat and clean. You always have to make them neat and clean, otherwise you're gonna have a mess. We're ready to start putting these in. Our flow starts here. So you wanna start here and work all the way up, and I want a little of this drama everywhere in here. I don't wanna just have it just in one spot. I might actually start up and work down. So that way I make sure I get the drama at the top. So let's go in here. Come on, drama. I love putting twigs in, and flowering twigs and grasses are beautiful. So I'm gonna bring my first piece in, and I'm gonna manipulate it, give it all that movement we talk about. So important. Now this functions as its own little drama here. So we're gonna kind of let that hang there. We're gonna come a little bit down. It's got its own cool drama. I've never had a berry or a twig that I didn't like. Pretty much. Never. Okay, we're gonna push this one in. This one's gonna go right here. Beautiful. And now I'm gonna work a third one. How about a third one in more to the, maybe to the outside right here. Okay? Isn't that pretty? And we're kind of creating this line that's coming down on the outside. You know, like a horse's mane? That's what we're kind of doing right now. Bring this one down a little bit more. So pretty. And all of these grasses are working to the outside. And that way, this keeps this very interesting, very different. And like, we want it to be different than you could just pick up at your local store. We want it to have flavor. And we want to say we made it ourselves. And we, you know, you can make your own designer wreaths. You don't have to go buy them. If you want to make your own, we're here to show you how. Let's bring one more into here. Now, if the idea of this just being on the outside just totally freaks you out, Glee, I have to have some from the inside. That's okay. Go ahead. You cut yours a little bit shorter and put some from the inside. But I am going to keep mine all on the outside here. Try to keep people's eyes just going, whoa, so pretty. I'm going to put this leaf here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're going to put number 6 kind of coming over the front. Still working on that outside, but just coming over here. Now, if you wanted to do this and you wanted to keep going all around, you could just get one more bush of everything and you would be set. You could come and complete the circle. I love making things asymmetrical like this. So, beautiful. Do you ever have some pieces of ribbon left that you're like, what am I going to do with these short rolls of ribbon? And I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to find pieces of that ribbon that coordinates and goes together, like the collection we're using today. And you're going to make the cutest little scrap bow, and it's really easy to do. And I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to start off by grabbing some ribbons that coordinate together. Here I'm working with a really pretty purple color palette. You can see I've got dark and light and check and just a bunch of different colors with purple in there. So they're different shades of the same color. And I'm going to start off with a base that's kind of really bold. So I'm going to start with this. It's going to be a cute little plaid. And I've cut it at about 12 inches long. A regular standard bow we would go from 12 to 14 on both sides of the bow. So we're going to do that here. Okay. So I've just dovetailed both ends. So that means I just fold it and cut up to make the little dovetail. And that's going to start at the base. And all I've got to do is just build up from there. So I'm going to cut another one. And even if you don't know like the order you want to put it in, that's okay. Just start taking your scraps and cutting them. We're going to start with everybody at the 12 inches to start, because we're going to build out a little base. I think you're going to like this kind of bow. We've done this a couple of times, but I don't think we've done one for the spring season before. It's fun to do these for different seasons, and you're going to find you're going to have pieces of ribbon left that, you know, you need to use up, and you can add these little bows or big bows to almost anything, and they kind of give you that different look. All right, so now I've got that one done. So I've got the check. So here comes all our 4 pattern. Now this is all wired ribbon, so you can, you know, make it go up or down or move it around. It's got movement to it. Let's bring our purple in. All right, we're gonna bring it in. I'm gonna trim it. So once I kind of get my size, I just build up from there. Now let's start to layer it once I get my dovetails done. And we're gonna layer this up. So let's say, okay, maybe I'll put the solid in the back, and then I'm gonna crisscross it just exactly how I want it here. All right, and I can kind of see a pattern starting. All right, now, so as you start to build up your little crisscross right here, then we can take and pinch it in the middle and kind of see how our bow's gonna look. Okay, we need some more. That's not enough. So let's cut some more pieces, okay? And we'll start to lay them out again. And let's do 2 of every piece, and let's see how that works. And the cool thing is you don't have to make any of these the same. We're gonna just layer it up. Now, that's kind of a good background base that we just saw. So what if we started making them a little bit shorter, take off about 1 inch, and doing the same thing for our second piece. Now, if you want to know where we're going to use this bow in the end, let me know in the comments, and we'll share with you the link of that video where we end up using the bow. But right now, why do you think we're going to make these a little more narrow? Not narrow, but shorter. Why are we going to make them a little bit shorter than the first piece? So I'm going to give you a second to kind of pop some answers there in the comments. I don't want you to get all worried about measuring perfectly on this. This is like a scrap bow. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, and we don't have to worry about it just being perfect. So every time I cut a piece, I'm just cutting those little dovetails into the back. And we want them a little bit shorter. So see how this one's a little shorter? Perfect. We're going for about 1 inch shorter altogether. And I'm dovetailing this one. All right, now let's do one more of the check. It's going to be so fun. And, oh, I dovetailed it first before I even cut it. That's because I'm getting brave. Let me see, right about there. All right, so all my different pieces are cut. And now I've got 2 of each piece. One that we did at 12 inches and the other one we did, I would say, at about 10 or 11, something like that. So take your shorties and pull them off. So we're going to use those. Did you guess why we're going to use them? We're going to use those in the front, or I would call in design school the foreground of the design, the foreground of the bow, the front of the bow. Because they're shorter, they're going to let that background layer show up. So you're going to see that right now. All right, let's turn these and start to build our base. So I'm going to put a purple in. I'm going to layer this one kind of crisscross. I like that. And then I like a little separation between the drama colors. So I'm going to take and put a nice check in. Okay, and just keep gently twisting them. Crisscrossing, rather, not really twisting. And then I'm going to bring this one. How about this one? We kind of go like this. Oh my gosh, we're building this up so cute. All right, let's put on the next layer. Let's go. So now I want, since I have this purple here, just kind of make sure you're going across it. Okay, that's a little different right there, right? And then what about this? We want to go opposite this one. Ooh, we are making this so stinking cute. And then let's have this little check go opposite that one. And then this purple, maybe we'll work it right here. All right, now that we've done that, we kind of created almost like a star on the table. And the kind of the trickiest part will be to start to kind of move them just a little and start to pinch and gather this right here in the center. Just pinch and gather. Things are going to shift a little bit because you got to get them either to the right or the left of the center here. All right, once you start to pinch and gather, you're going to create the middle of your stinking cute bow. Look at this. Look at it popping up already. Oh my goodness. Look how cute. And all of a sudden, this little trim, like spare ribbon bow, is adorable. Now I'm fluffing a little bit here, but make sure you're happy with how you've got it, and look how cute that is. Now, you need to grab a wire or a cable tie or a pipe cleaner, whatever you want, whatever you prefer to use, and we got to make sure we're grabbing through that center and getting it nice and tight. All right, so I'm going to use my little green cable tie, one of my favorite things to use. Add some pressure, get it on there, and you can put it pretty tight. And now I've got to fluff it back out again. Look how cute this is going to be. So perfect. And what a great use for all that ribbon that's just kind of like you've just got little bits left. Oh my goodness, y'all. So stinking cute. Now, trim off this part of the cable tie. Right here, I'm just using a little wire cutter to cut that off. And I think for your last step, you don't have to. You could use it more like a pom-pom and pull these up forward. But I'm going to spread it out more like a bow so it kind of keeps that bow shape I love. Like this. Y'all, I hear Nori. Nori's telling us, Mama, I'm here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take and add a little ribbon to the center. That's just one of my signature moves. And I think this pretty dark purple would be beautiful in there. And we're going to use that to cover our little cable tie. We don't need a whole lot. I'm doing about 6 inches. And I'll just take and fold it over. And I'm just folding it like this to get a little strip. I did 3 folds this time to get a little bitty strip. And I'm going to tie that. That's so cute. I'm going to tie that right in the middle. I love this. I hope you try this kind of scrap bow where you can make your own. You don't have to use scraps. We can plan on this from the beginning. If you love this purple color combo and you're one of our purple people, we'll have a supply list so you can get this exact ribbon right here. But look at that. Precious, adorable. I can't wait for you to try this simple bow. And if you've never made a bow before, this might be the perfect one. Think of all the combos you could do in there. That would be a blast. You could mix so many patterns. You're going to have fun. We've got the cutest little bunny door hangers that have come in, and we have been playing with these in design school, and I love love using them. But I'm going to give you a little tip today that you can use on these door hangers or any other project you ever see. As even though this comes with one style of bow, what I can do is I can take and change the whole look of this just by changing out the bow here at the bottom. And it's really that easy. And there's always lots more you can do to make it even pop more, but we're going to show you how to do that really easy. I'm going to take my door hanger here, and I am going to start off by deciding, you know, how far I want to deconstruct this. I could just take off this bow and just go, you know, keep it very natural and just keep the burlap in the background. Ooh, I was able just to pull it. Sometimes you may have to, you know, be careful and not tear it up. And you can save this for something else. Okay, pull that out. And if I just want this natural kind of country, kind of a garden look, this would be perfect. But if I want to go like a completely different way with my finished look on this, I can even take and pull off these. They're usually glued on, so we'll try to pull it. And then if it won't pull, we'll just gently snip it. You just have to be careful that you don't destroy things. You might have to use a little muscle. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, y'all. Haha! Look at that. And I pulled it off, and I have the bunny head just right here like this. And super simple. And now there is a little bit of the ribbon or glue there, but no big deal. We're going to completely come in with another look. Now this one has a hanger on it, but we'll be using this bunny in either a centerpiece or a wreath, so I'm not even going to need the hanger, so I can take and just trim that off and take and kind of hide this in the back. When I did that in design school, I used this bunny. I just took and just kind of hid it back here. Super easy. So I'm going to do a little knot back here, and you won't even see it now, okay? There it goes. It looks really finished on the front. These little ears have wires in them. So when you get an embellishment, you know, feel around. Does it have wires? Can I take and how can I take and make this look a little bit better than when I just first got it? Or how can I change it for a different look I want out of the same piece? I got his little ears up. I fixed his little whiskers. They're looking adorable. Now I want to go ahead and add in the bow right here to the center. We made this bow on another video. This is one of the scrap bows I love making. If you need a link to learn how to make that, just let us know. We'll put it in the comments. And I am just going to tuck this right under his little chin right here. And we're going to glue that on. But before I do it, I want to think about how I can manipulate my ribbons to kind of come down a little bit. And I think it would even be precious if we were able to add like a little bit of greenery in there too. So I'm going to grab some greenery and we're going to pop that right into here. So I'm going to grab a greenery like this. It's just a really subtle looking piece where I've got greenery with a little bit of lavender. So look how perfect. This is just a perfect little greenery. So I'm going to get 2 pieces of that. So I don't need a whole lot off this bush. And I'm going to come in and just get 2 of these little longer pieces like this. So just like that. I want you to cut a couple of pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of glue these behind our bow when we put them in. We don't have to get really fancy here. We're just going to lay them on the muslin. And I'm going to come in with some glue. I've got my electric glue skillet off to the side. And what I want you to do is just take here and lay a little glue right there. Pop in a little bit of greenery on either side here. It's going to come out of the bow. So simple. That went in first, okay? And it's kind of, I've got it nicely melding in the fabric and they're touching each other. So I'm making a nice little glue sandwich here. And then here comes some more glue. And we're going to layer this right on top, a little bit below it. I don't want the bow to be too high. I want to kind of bring it low. And then I'm going to take the bow and we're going to just push that right in here. So we're going to hold it for just a minute. And while I'm holding it, I can take and fluff it out while I'm holding it tight in that center because I need that glue to set up. And then I'm going to bring just little bits of this greenery through. Just like that. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Oh my gosh. That simple change is quite different from our original bunny, but not that difficult, really easy to like change the look of a wreath attachment that you want to use. And now this was going to go perfect in any type of other piece. And if I want to add this to a dowel, this could go in a centerpiece. If I left that hanger on, we could have left this as a door hanger, or I can just go through the back and attach it on a wreath or whatever works for my decor and how I like to decorate. Hey Glimmerinos, we're going to do the last few steps of this project. Have you been following along our adventure while we've been creating this project step by step? And we've been having so much fun doing different things with it and kind of building on the style of the design. So in one video we made this entire wreath here, and we taught you how to put these pieces in place in order to get this gorgeous lush look with the ginkgo leaves and the berries. And then on another video we showed you how to make this scrap bow right here in order to kind of take your wreath attachment to the next level and make it look different than others that will have the same attachment as you. If you need the link to either of these videos, just let us know. They're all in the supply list for this project, and you can watch the whole progression as we bring the project together. But our very last step is to add the bunny head to the wreath. Because this is on a nice little wire frame under here, it's got a lot of stability. All we need to do is just take an awl that's kind of like an ice pick, and it has this little pointy tip, and it goes really easily through fabric, and it can poke right through it. I make this little pokey poke through the back, okay? We give him a piercing. This bunny's been wanting to get a piercing, whether he wants it or not. Then we're gonna pull that out, and then all we've got to do is run a cable tie, or you can use a wire. They have a little bit more rigidity, so they're a little bit easier to get through here. And then you just run that right through there. And I'm gonna come over to my wreath base. And this wreath is just so sweet the way we designed it to where the bunny can just sit right in there. Isn't that adorable? And we're gonna put it right in. Let me move you guys over so you can see it really good here. There we go. So I'm gonna put the bunny in right here to the little hole we left. And then we'll just take and cable tie him right in. And now we're gonna get this nice and tight right here to this part of the, you won't even notice. He'll be sitting in there so cute. And I'll just take some wire cutters and trim off the cable tie part. Just like that. Now my last step is I'm gonna just fluff out his little scrap bow we made to go on there. And these ears have wires. And then he's set, ready to go. And not only did you learn how to make this one design wreath, but we showed you 3 different ways to work with the same concept to kind of take it different directions. And that's the kind of tips and tricks I teach you every week in design school. And we would love to have you in our class so you don't miss another minute of learning how to design and all the skills, tips, and tricks that you need to take your work to the next level. We don't want you just pushing and shoving things in. I want you to have proper placement and learn how to create lines, depth, and dimension in your pieces. And I'd love to show you. So come join us in design school. And y'all, if you need the links to any of this, just ask in the comments. We'll send you to the supply list. And the supply list has links for everything. And you won't ever be lost again. All right, Glimmerinos, we'll see you next time. Go have fun with flowers, and don't miss this project.